What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. This is kind of an impromptu video. I was actually working on the computer, excuse me, and like many of my videos, when something pops up inside my head and I think about it for a second, I can't hold off and wait to film that video. I need to do it right now. So I had to stop what I was doing over here, literally turn the camera on to talk about what I'm talking about right now, because I actually kind of spaced it out. But I want to bring this to you guys. This has nothing to do with fitness. It has to do with real life. I mean, real life and who you are as a person, and the fact that you get brainwashed into things that you don't even know you get brainwashed into. And it's hard to get out of that because your life becomes that brainwashing. Now, what am I talking about? Okay, so let's back up. So I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine, and we were talking about what my dream car is. He's like, Jerry, what's your dream car, man? What would you get for a dream car? I said, it's sitting outside the parking lot, my Lexus. And he goes, no, I mean your dream car. I was like, it's sitting outside, my Lexus. It's something that I can afford. It's very nice, and it has a great performance package, which means that if I break down on the side of the road in another state, I hit the button, Lexus comes to pick me up, puts me up in a hotel for free, fixes the car, and then gets it back to me, and I can come home. Like, that to me is what I dream of, like having no worries, right? And he goes, yeah, okay, but that's fucking lame. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, what's your dream car? He's like, Ferrari, man. I said, okay, cool. I said, why is it your dream car? He's like, oh, because it's fucking so cool, man. I was like, really? What's cool about it? It's a fucking Ferrari. It's so cool. I said, okay, so you think it's cool? He's like, yeah. But what do you base it on that? He's like, duh, it's a Ferrari. I'm like, okay. I haven't heard yet. I said, have you ever driven one? He's like, no. I was like, have you ever owned one? He's like, no. He's like, has anybody you ever known own one? No. So have you ever seen one in person? He's like, yeah, I've seen them like maybe once or twice I've seen one like on the road. I'm like, okay, so you've seen one on the road, but you know it's very cool to own this car. And he's like, well, yeah. I'm like, okay, here's the cool part. It's like $200,000, okay? So first of all, you don't make $200,000. So if you did get that car, you'd be working for the car for the rest of your life. But high price tag, high maintenance, everything on the car costs exactly what you would think it costs. Like a oil change for a Lexus is anywhere from $300 to $500. What do you think this thing, when they have to take there's so much that goes into this car. There's maintenance. You can't keep it out. You don't have a garage. You're not going to park in the fucking street where you're going to put a goddamn fucking cover over it every single day. You're not going to do that. You can't leave it on the street, right? You can't drive it in the snow around here. You can't drive it in half the roads around here because they're all fucking banged up and have potholes and shit on them. And besides, where are you going to drive it? He's like, well, I don't know. So when you can drive it to get groceries, you can drive it to the fucking gym. Big deal. You spend $250,000 on a fucking car to drive it to the gym when you could have spent $80,000 on a car or $50,000 on a car. Had all the bells and whistles, drove great, was nice, was sporty on the ship, but it didn't have the Ferrari name stamped to it. He just kind of looked at me and said, do you understand why you think it's cool? And he was like, he just kind of looked at me blank and said, because you've been brainwashed into thinking it's cool. You've been brainwashed by, and I don't know who it's by, whether it's the media, whether it's just society in general, because the more money you have, the bigger things you get, the better it is. And you've never had more money. You've never had better things. You've never had any of this, but you think it's cool because that's what's being forced on you, right? And I said, my dad always wanted to own a Corvette. That was his dream car, was a Corvette. And not long before he died, I talked to Aaron about going up there for like his birthday and renting him a Corvette. And Aaron was like, I think it's a good idea. And where I got that idea from was I went down to Mexico, and one of my trips in Mexico, I drove the Audi R8. And let me just explain something to you. This is a very fast, high-powered sports car, an exotic car. And I thought it was amazing. I was like, this is so fucking cool. I'm going to drive this car. The Ferrari that day, incidentally, was actually not there. Like, they had actually taken it off the track for whatever reason. So I went with the Audi R8. I get in this car, and I drove around the track, and it was a great experience. I had a great time. As a matter of fact, there's a video up here on YouTube of me driving it down there. And when it was all said and done, the experience was over, and we left and went back to the resort, and I was like, okay, it was really cool, but didn't really fucking change my life. Absolutely not life-changing. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up. And it was a lesson that I learned, like, my Lexus, which I actually enjoy driving, that I can afford and not put myself out fucking trying to buy the Ferrari, the Lambo, or whatever. And I never really was into things like that when I was a kid. Like, I didn't have a dream car when I was a kid. I didn't have a dream house. I didn't have a dream anything. My thing was just day to day getting by. And if I was at the end of the day, I was happy and I had a roof over my head, I was cool. Yeah, I wanted things like clothes and toys and shit when I was a kid and stuff when I was a teenager. But the things that I thought were cool, the things that I would strive for are much different nowadays. Even like a lot of the Louis Vuitton stuff I used to buy a couple of years ago. I don't buy Louis Vuitton stuff anymore. Why? Because it's just normal stuff. I have plenty of Gucci, Louis Vuitton and stuff. But you know what? There's a lot of stuff out there that's a lot less, that's just as functional, just as cool. And it's not like you walk around and you feel cool wearing the Louis Vuitton. I mean, the stuff that I buy now, if it's Louis Vuitton, it's for the quality because you do get better quality. But it's not so much for the look of it so that other people see it now and go, oh, Louis Vuitton. Back then it was for people to see it. Now it's not, because I've learned the difference between being around people that actually have millions, if not billions of dollars, being around people that have all the nice things that you thought you wanted, and how they have just as much problems and stress as you do, even with the money and the things. So being around them and then having a little bit of success myself, literally I have every single thing that I want right now. Literally everything I can dream of, besides a helicopter, which I've always thought was cool. But it's one of those things that, I've never had a helicopter. I've never even ridden a helicopter, so I don't even know if it's that cool. But bottom line is, my dad died wishing that he had owned a Corvette. And that was a lesson to me, because my dad never drove a Corvette. He never owned a Corvette. He knew what a Corvette looked like. And because maybe his buddies, when he was a teenager, and they thought it was so cool in Corvette, he just was like, wow, that's cool. I would really like to have that. And he strived for his entire life, never got it, and died without it. And when I don't want to say he was probably upset about it, but, he regretted never, getting to the point where he could have a Corvette, And that really was an eye-opener for me. And I really, after driving the Audi R8 down in Mexico, I was like, if I get him to drive that Corvette, he might actually look at it as like, oh, that was cool experience, but I'm satisfied. I'm fulfilled driving it. I actually don't need that. At 72 years old or whatever he was when he passed away, what's he going to do with a Corvette? He's going to drive around, look cool for who? You know what I mean? Like, it was cool back in the day because his friends thought it was cool, because none of his friends had one, right? And the guy with the car, the Corvette back in the day, got the girls, right? Well, newsflash, you guys are all older and married now. You're not trying to get the girls. You're not trying to look cool in front of your friends. So other than the experience of actually driving the car, why do you fucking want it? And once you drive it, it's like anything else. Like, you could obsess about anything. Like, this fucking marker, right? You can say, oh, the best marker in the world, right? You see it on TV, and all your friends are using them, and they fucking have them everywhere. And like, maybe fucking Tom Brady, I know half of you have, Tom Brady has one, and his kids have one. And you're like, oh, I gotta have that marker. And then you get this marker, and you're like, it's a nice marker. And you're like, okay, it's a nice marker, and you write with it, and you're expecting it to be like fucking calligraphy just because it's a crazy marker that you spend a lot of money on, and you still write the same. The ink looks the same. But you got this cool pen that everyone else has, that everyone else thinks is cool, everyone tells you is cool. But then you realize, I guess it's okay, but it's not awesome, it's not amazing, it's not cool, it's just, it is what it is. And realizing that really kind of hit home with me, because everything is like that. No matter what you get, there's always something else you think would be cool. Oh, cooler, this is cooler, this will make me happy. And then you get it and you're like, it's okay. So at the end of the day, what's really cool? What's really cool to me, having a nice place to live in, that's secure, that you don't have to worry about not having a place to live, having the right people around you, loved ones, marrying the right person, like Aaron, the cars and all these types of expensive things. If you can't afford them, then what good are they? You'll have no money in the bank, no security, no nothing, but you have these cool things that people think are cool. That's not cool. What's cool is making sure that you have that money set aside for an emergency, making sure that you have stuff set up money-wise to set you up for the future, making sure that your businesses and stuff, you're giving it your all, and those are creating a legacy that you're going to leave behind. Like, there's so many other things that are cool, and because I know, because I've done them, I've been there, I felt it. And other things that are not cool you think would be cool because other people think they're cool when they've never experienced it. And they really want the experience of experiencing it, and that's what's cool. It's not actually owning the things or having it, because there's always the next thing. There's always something to move on to. If you get the Corvette, you'd be like, Corvette's cool, but look at that Lambo. Then you start looking like, oh, the Corvette's cool. The Corvette all of a sudden is not so cool anymore. The Lambo is the next step. You're always striving for more. Everybody always wants more, and it doesn't end. It really doesn't. That's why so many people look to religion and things like that and say, oh, I'm fulfilled through religion. And I really think you can be fulfilled through being yourself and living your own life and not thinking about what other people are saying or wanting or doing or are pressuring you to think is cool and things like that. And you sit back and you say, the Lexus is fucking amazing. It may not be some people's dream car, but it is some people's dream car. And it makes me happy, and I'm okay with it, and I don't feel like I need more or want more. So therefore, that's my dream car. I'm happy with it. Like, it's just that simple. Like, it really is a matter of perspective. But had I not lived through it, had I not lived to be 42 years old, going to be 43 in a couple weeks, I wouldn't know any of this. Like right now, 22, 21, you don't know this. Like with age comes wisdom, and wisdom comes wisdom, but also comes the realization of the fact that life is not really what you thought it was. It's not going to be what you think it is. And in the end, it's what you made it. So I know that sounds like a riddle and it's confusing as fuck, but kind of sit on those and think on those a little bit and let those sink in. And I promise you things start to make a lot more sense when you let go of the things that you think are cool, that you have no idea honestly whether they're cool or not because you've never experienced it. And once you let go of all that stuff and say, you know what, I'll decide what's cool when I experience it. And when it's time for me to experience it, I'll experience it through the fact of life and not strive to have these experiences that are empty experiences that I realize, well, that's no fucking, that's no good, BioShareTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.bioshare.com is a blog. It's the Think As You Go bicep, and we are out.